ईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
When there was for Brother Amey to come and speak to our center, I had a couple of phone calls which said, "Brother, what's happening? Are you guys having your Sai Govind, or have you taken a sabbatical?" And I said, "Truth, matter of truth is, I have taken a long sabbatical." I was telling Swami, how will that happen? And then I actually wanted to ask whether post I gave them at home, as I go in satsang at home, and everyone instantly said yes. And this is Swami's way of saying that we don't think of him only when we have no other choice, because that is what COVID gave us as an opportunity to connect. We probably had more lunches in the dining table together. We had more satsangs than one can. We heard people without borders every other Sunday. And it wonders how we managed to have the time to finish our dinner and stay, and then not even press the end button, because everyone extended more than the hour and a half. Then we went to a second week, third week. Somehow, once we start getting busier, of course, it's not that we are not in Swami's contemplation, but satsangs always give us the answers. And those days, every week was that dose that was needed, that booster shot that was needed to last the week of mundaneness. The same thing, looking at each other at home and contemplating on Sai. Today we are blessed to have Brother Amey with us. It's not new to us. We heard his father speak at our center. We have heard him, I think, was it a Samarpan or a Prema Bandham? Was it a Prema? I think it was one of those at Monument, right? It was Prema Bandham. It was part of Prema Bandham. And of course, we have also heard him innumerable times on Radio Sai. And yesterday we were all blessed, where beautifully summed up that a center for human values can only be existent if Swami was the center of our lives. And with that, I do not want to go and say more about him, because just a little for everyone who might probably not know, currently he's associated with the Center for Human Values, which is looking at putting Swami's teachings practically for going beyond the realm of Balavikas, going beyond the realm of just the educational institutions, and also ensuring that the values extend into day-to-day life as well. And so, without further time being lost, I seek Swami to give us what we need to hear, Brother Amey. And the format is very simple. What he wills, we will what we get. The time is yours, I know. You have been speaking literally non-stop. I would have actually gone and said, "Brother, finish with a couple of topics," but I want to let you decide on the voice condition and decide what he wills. If you want, I'll move the wool to feet. That's going to be disturbing you. Is that making sense? Like, no. Okay. All right. So without further ado, over to Brother Amey. सर्व प्रचोदयात् शांति शांति.
Invoking the presence of our beloved Lord and offering our loving pranams at His lotus feet, and offering our pranams to the sai seated in each and every heart, to dear elders, dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to all of you. As I was contemplating, I was asking Swami, what can I share? Frankly, I have not prepared anything, so I will just seek Swami's intervention to share whatever thoughts come. And if at any given time you all have any questions or any comments to make, please do stop and we can take up that as well. Because at the end of the day, the satsang must be useful to you all. And if it is not useful, then you should stop me and say, brother, what are your thoughts on this, so and so. So let me start with one incident that happened many years ago. Swami was sitting with all the students and he asked a question. He asked, what is the rarest phenomenon in this world? What is the most unique thing in this world? And obviously the response was, Swami, Mukti, self-realization. Because how many self-realized souls do we know? Out of the 8 billion people on earth, and the billions who have ever lived on earth, how many have actually got self-realization? And Swami said, absolutely not. In fact, it is the destiny of each and everyone to get self-realized, to get mukti. So that is not the rarest thing at all. Oh, so then what is the rarest thing? So obviously other answers like Swami devotion, bhakti, or to practice love. Is that the rarest thing? And then Swami said, obviously nobody had the right answer. Swami said the rarest thing on earth is to be a contemporary of God when He comes down on earth. Right? For about 4 million years, human beings have been on earth. From the primates, they have evolved to where the Homo sapiens are there. And in all of these years, how many times has God come down and become a contemporary of man? Probably 20 times, 30 times. Right? If you go to Bhagavatam, it is 21 avatars. Otherwise, there are the Dashavatars. Right? So if you put all of them together, probably 30, 40, 50 times He has come down on earth as Jesus or as Rama or Krishna, so on and so forth. And imagine, in those few times when God comes down on earth, we also happen to be on earth exactly at the same time. Isn't that the rarest of opportunities? But then Swami did not stop there, because he said, even rarer than being a contemporary of God is to know that He is God when He is on earth. Right? Because even when Sathya Sai avatar was happening, there were 7 billion people on earth. How many of them actually knew that God was walking on earth? Right? So to know that God is walking on earth is an even rarer. So out of 7 billion, only a few million know. Then Swami said, even rarer than that, that is to know that God is walking on earth, is to be at His lotus feet and get an opportunity to serve Him. Right? To be, and I feel That is the set of people over here. The rarest of the rarest species, the most endangered species, so to speak, right, are the people who know about God, who are contemporaries of Him, who want to serve Him, who want to love Him. That is the rarest of the opportunities that we have got. And God knows after how many births of praying we have found ourselves in this position. So therefore, what should we do now? Are we going to fritter away this opportunity, or is there something more to it? Having said that, once we know, we accept the fact that yes, this is the most rarest of opportunities, the most golden opportunity, call it what you may. How to serve God or how to love Swami? So once one of the brothers asked Swami this question: Swami, what is the best relationship we can have with you? Right? There are so many relations, God and devotee, mother and son. What is the best relationship that we can have with you? And Swami, in fact, that brother was telling me directly, he was saying, Swami said, I'll tell you. And even Swami had to think about it. So Swami says, after a few minutes, so he was one of those brothers who used to push Swami's chairs during those years, 2006. So it seems as Swami was leaving the interview room, Swami told him, you are asking me, that is after a few minutes, he said, which is the best relationship? What do you think Swami must have said? What do you think? What is the best relationship to have with Swami?
Friend.
Swami said, the best relationship to have with Swami is a Guru-Shishya relationship. And he went on to explain, he said that all other relationships, there is some conditions which are attached. For example, friendship. We only those who are like-minded can become friends. Mother and child, there is the umbilical cord itself, which is the basis of that relationship. Right? Husband and wife, there is a contractual agreement, or there is that 7 Saptapadi, etc., etc. But between a guru and a shishya, there is absolutely no conditions attached. Why does the guru accept somebody as shishya? There is no condition. Why does the shishya accept somebody as guru? There is no conditions attached. So the guru-shishya relationship is truly the most unconditional relationship that we can have with Swami. And then Swami went on to say that once you have established somebody as a guru and the guru-shishya has been established, then the guru and shishya can become anything it wants. For example, guru becomes the best friend of the shishya. The shishya becomes the best friend. The guru can become mother, the shishya can become the child. The guru can become husband, the shishya can become the wife, or vice versa, just like Mirabai and Krishna. Right? So the guru and shishya can take the form of anything. Right? So the guru-shishya relationship is the best. Now one may wonder, why didn't Swami say devotee and God? Right? He is the Lord, we are all his devotees. So why didn't he say devotee-God relationship? So let me tell you another story. This happened in 2005 when I had the opportunity to travel with Swami to Kodaikanal. Being in Kodaikanal with Swami is like being behind the scenes. Usually in Prashanthi or in any other place, you will see Swami when he comes out for darshan. But in Kodaikanal, you will see what happens before he comes out and after he comes back in. And early in the morning from 6 to late in the evening, 7 o'clock, whole day we will be with Swami. Means there is no place where you can escape. Even if you want to escape, you can't escape. Okay, it's like an intense fitness camp, if I can call it. Okay, and why I call it fitness camp? Because you can fail horribly also with it. Success is not guaranteed, you know. So a typical day in Kodaikanal will be, you wake up in the morning roughly at 4 o'clock, you get ready, and then you will be sent for a walk around the lake, the Kodai lake, and that's a much needed walk because the amount of food that you eat along whenever you're traveling with Swami is incredible. 4 meals, 4 proper, 3-course meals will be there. So you have to have a really good appetite. You see, it almost feels as if, before the goat is killed, it is fed nicely. So Swami will ensure that you will never complain about food again in your life. Right? So he'll feed you, that you want some, take as much as you want. Don't complain. Don't tell me you never got food to eat, like that. So, so that morning walk is an absolute oxygen for our body. So we finish the walk, we come back, and by 5:30, 5:45, okay, we will all be seated outside Swami's bedroom. So the first darshan is on the first floor, and like a fresh lily, immediately after bath. So of course, Swami has his bath at 4:30 itself. But the first set of faces that he will see is, those faces. So, and you will see Swami at roughly 5:30, 5:45 in the morning. So he'll open the door out of his bedroom and you're seated right outside. And there will be a small morning chit chat, how did you all sleep? Or some days there will be this, he will say, somebody was snoring yesterday. I could not sleep because he was snoring. It's like that. It's just one wall. On this side students, on that side Bhagawan. Okay, so literally our rule was whoever is snoring, sleep on the ground floor. Right? So no snorers were on the... Okay, and incredible things have happened in the past. In Kodaikanal you hear lots and lots of stories of Kodai. Kodai itself can be like a 110-week satsang. Right? There are times when Swami will come out, means he will be the most human that you can imagine. He has come out apparently in some of my seniors have said, he had come once, when boys were shaving. Swami came suddenly here in that bathroom area and said, I forgot my shaving cream. Can I borrow some of yours? Such things have also happened. And so we have that morning chit chat. It will last about 15-20 minutes. Then we go down and then we have our first meal of the day. There at 6 o'clock in the morning, breakfast. Right? So, it's like, you name it and it is there. Dosa, idli, pongal, vada, sambar, chutneys, 7-8 items will be there. After which, Swami will go out for darshan. So roughly around 6:30, 6:45, 7 o'clock even, Swami will go out for darshan. And while Swami is giving darshan, again we are doing bhajans. Right? So then Swami comes back and you can almost see, the beauty is like, the amount of excitement we have to see Swami, we can see Swami having that excitement to go and for darshan, to see the devotees. There are times when from the Kodaikanal, the window, he will part the curtains to see whether devotees have come or not. The excitement of God also to see his devotees. And then he will say, Papam, all of these, because it's quite cold in the mornings, it will be very cold, it will be like single digits. So you can see Swami telling, see, all of them have been waiting, to have darshan. So it will go, so that is, that the darshan gets over, then he will come back in. Then typically, so the first session is in the morning, then you have breakfast with Swami, Swami goes out for darshan, you have your third session with Swami. Okay, where there'll be a post-darshan analysis, post-mortem, of the darshan. Who all had come, how were they, so some Balvika's children from maybe Coimbatore or from Madurai would have come. So Swami will talk about some devotee, okay, or some very close devotee of Bhagawan like Anjali Devi Garu would have come. So Swami will be talking to her or about her, so that session happens. 10:30, 11 o'clock is lunch. Okay. So we finish at 9:30. If Swami will come back by, let's say, 8 o'clock. So from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, 10:30 will be a session. Either he will give a discourse. 10:30, 11 o'clock is lunch. We have done nothing so far. We've just been sitting. So then you sit, you sit for lunch. After that, Swami will take his break in the afternoon. So that is from 11:30 to around 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock is high tea. Okay. So once again, so at that time we will be practicing for evening bhajans or music program or whatever, during that break time. So again 1 o'clock, 1:30 he comes down. Okay, and then again we are in for high tea. Can you imagine, just thinking of this itself, your stomachs are full, isn't it? So we have our high tea, and then you have the post high tea pre-bhajan session. There's the evening bhajan, so again there will be a discourse or there will be a talk, or sometimes there will be games. We play some bhajan antakshari kind of games will happen in Swami's presence, and then you go in for bhajans. Again, the Kodai bhajans are usually 1 hour bhajans. So we spend a lot of time in bhajans, seeing the devotees, etc. So then you come back after bhajans, so maybe from 5 to 6 are bhajans. From 6 to 7, again there will be a post bhajan pre-dinner session. Right? So there will be usually a post-mortem analysis of the bhajans. Who sang how? So he will say, you fellow, you didn't sing properly today. So that happens. After that, 6:30, 7 o'clock. No problem. So then, so we have our dinner roughly around 6:37, and after that, Swami retires for the day. So this is typically how a Kodaikanal session is. So from morning 5:30 to evening 6:37, whole day you are with Swami. So, and then there will be lots and lots of, in between. It's incredible. You cannot even you cannot predict what is going to happen in which sessions. He will have distributions. Swami will start distributing something. Someday Swami will be upset with the boys, with the students who have come there. And so we have heard many stories. So many things have happened. So one day will be a shopping day. Swami will send all the students for shopping. You see, again, Swami's sensitivity, right? He will say, you all have, you are missing your vacations. That is to be vacation time. Right? Your parents have allowed you to be with me. So you buy something for them on behalf of Swami. So Swami will give the money for shopping, and he will go and ask the students to go and shop. And there are also specific instructions. There were these, people from Tibet. There were some people who would, they will be standing, they will be selling, Tibetan like hats and, shawls. And so Swami will say, buy something from them. Papam, they have come all the way from Tibet. And don't bargain with them. Whatever they ask, you give them. But other shops bargain, Swami. So when after you bring back things, Swami will ask, how much did you pay for this sari? Okay, if you say something like, Swami, 500 rupees, hey, too much for this sari. So it could be anything. It will just be such an informal kind of, moment with Swami. I remember, for example, I used to be one of the brothers who used to have a video camera. Okay, so my own video camera with my own cassettes, and taking video, in those kind of sessions is very scary, because you have to be extremely stealth. You can't just show like that and hey, put it down, or he'll shut it off. So in between, you have to be clandestine as possible, stealth camera. Okay, and somehow those Kodaikanal days were not some of my best days. Okay, with Swami. Okay, so every day he will find some reason to blast me. Okay, and so one day I was just, he's walking, I'm taking video from down. So I'm looking into the, into the screen. So just imagine Swami is walking and I'm seeing like this. Okay, and so Swami noticed that I was, so Swami said, hey, Ain't and then he looked and then he saw the camera. Hey, chore! He shouted at me. You're stealthily you're taking it. I thought finished, today you're out. Because, when Swami shouts or Swami is angry, every part of his body will be angry. His nose, his eyes, his ears, his lips, everything will be angry. So just, I shut it off and closed it and just sat like that. What is going to happen now, you don't know. Right? But see, that is Swami, right? He said, chore. Whether he said, and everybody was like, now, and what happens usually, that will become the mood for that evening. That session will be defined by that. See, boys don't listen, boys are misbehaving, boys don't have good conduct, and the whole session goes on those lines only. Then Swami will ask some elder, see how much Swami gives, and this is how they, So the whole session will be like that. So everybody was in a somber kind of, oh God, is this gone? Is this session gone? Okay, and then Swami says, camera chore. Okay, and then suddenly Swami changes. He says, but Swami is chitta chore. Right? He is camera chore, but I am chitta chore. And in that moment, the whole mood changed, and everybody was I thought, thank God. After that, I did not dare take any videos. So if somebody, brother, take brother. I said, brother, you take the camera. Please be my guest. Take whatever you want. I am not going to, so like that. So on one of the days, this was the pre-bhajan sessions, and Swami was kind of waiting. So he will ask, who's singing? What are you going to sing? It could be anything. So he will send, at least there will be 2-3 errands of elders like V. Srinivasan Garu, or India President. He will say, hey, you should see whether people have come or not. Devotees, is the hall full? Can we start bhajans? Swami will ask, So he will go back, he will come and say, Swami, Nalla crowd irukku Swami. Full, it is jam packed. So Swami, just that day, he got a bit emotional when he was, he was just talking. See how devotees come. Just for one glimpse of Swami, everybody takes so much of difficulty to come and have darshan. So like that he was talking. And typically at that time, look at you fellows. Swami gives so much to you. They all are waiting for one glimpse. And you all, whole day you all sit with Swami. No impact, no benefit. This is how he was telling. And typically he got up from the chair. And suddenly, as he's saying, okay, go, come on now. Pondi, go for bhajans. And as we were kind of getting up to go, he says, Kani, but Swami doesn't want your devotion. So when I heard this, Swami doesn't want your devotion, the thought came in my mind, if God does not want our devotion, then what does he want? Right? God is telling us, I don't want your devotion. So there was a little pause. Swami walked a few steps and then he turns back and he says, I want your transformation. And then Swami didn't end it over there. Swami said, what is the difference between devotion and transformation? He said, devotion vastundi potundi. Devotion can come and go. But transformation, once it comes, you cannot untransform. See, once the butterfly comes out of the larvae, it cannot go back into become a butterfly. Once the seed becomes a tree, it cannot go back to, it can generate far many more seeds, but it cannot become the seed again. Once the statue comes out of the rock, it cannot become the rock again. Exactly like that. Once we transform, we cannot untransform. But devotion can come and go. Just think about it. You see, devotion comes on a Thursday evening or on a Sunday evening, or whenever a fantastic, bhajan singer like Sathya sir will sing. So as he sings, or like Venkat sir, when he sings, suddenly tears start to roll down. And especially if it is our favorite bhajan, it will be Sai Ram, Sai Sham, Mere Sa. Swami. Some favorite raga, some favorite bhajan of ours.
This center is famous for black note songs.
Right? And the moment Om Shanti Shanti happens, and we step out.
Oh, that also our center is famous for.
Not even stepping out. Jai Bolo happens. Right? I often see this even in Prashanthi Nilayam. Jai Bolo Bhagawan Shri Sathya Sai Baba Ji ki Jai. That's all. We are all getting up. Now next what to do? Right? In fact, even while bhajans are going on,
Pizza is over.
mind is already thinking about what I have to do after. Just come to think about this. Just pay a little attention. Swami wanted us to chant or sing his name 24/7. Right? He's saying 24/7, I want you. Let there be no other purpose of your life other than singing my name. And what did we tell? Was not possible. Okay, means चांद्र सूरज तुमने बनाए, नदिया सागर तुमने बनाए, अयोध्या नगरी तुमने बसाई, द्वारका नगरी, शिरडी परती, सब करने के बाद, that is after establishing, now we are telling you, you have created the world, but you don't know how to run the world. Ask us, we know, because we are very busy. So don't tell me to think 24/7 about you. Who will look after my family? Who will look after my job? Who will look after my house? Who will look after my friends? You see what we are doing? We are telling the Lord, yes, so Lord, we believe that you are God and you have created the world, but having created the world, you have no idea how to run it. Because we know how to run it. Right? So we are saying that 24/7 I cannot do. What does Swami tell? No problem, Bangalore. Once a week at least will you do? So from 24/7, he's telling 1/7 you do. Right? So what did he say? Once in a week you all come together, sing my name. Right? And we say, once a week I can do. Right? It's a fair deal. I want from him that he should pay attention to me 24/7. He should look after me 24/7. He should be at my beck and call 24/7. But in return, what will I give him? 1/7. And even during that, at least that 1/7, if we were to give properly, it would still be good for us. But even during that 1/7, do we give him 100% attention in that 1 hour? Right? We are hoping that in that 1 hour, right? Oftentimes when we sit for bhajans, especially in Prashanthi, this has been my own contemplation. Swami, it's like telling me, Swami, see, I'm very busy. I'm giving you half an hour, 9 to 9:30. Whatever that experience you want to give, give during this time. But after this, I don't have time for you. No? Please, whatever you gave Mirabai, whatever you gave Tyagaraja, whatever you gave Surdas, give me also the same, but only half an hour time. Your time starts now. What a fallacy. In the evening from 5:15 to 6, I'm giving you 45 minutes. Jobi, whatever you want to give during that time. Because we are not able to stay with that. Right? Swami is telling us, no problem. At least I'm hoping that whatever that 1 hour bhajan that we do, will spill over a little bit into the rest of the hours. That we will have some bhajan practice, to sing on that day. So if you are having a Thursday bhajan, on Wednesday you may think of me for 1 hour. On Tuesday you will think of me for 1 hour. Slowly but surely, it seeps through the rest of our hours of the week, and a time will come when our entire life will become His. Right? That is transformation. So Swami is telling us that this devotion that you are having, is there any dearth of devotion in this world? There are 1 million mosques, 1 million churches, 1 billion temples. And in each of these mosques and churches and temples and Buddhist viharas, there are 1 billion people flocking. So there is no dearth of devotion in this world. Swami is saying, I don't want that. Because there in those temples and those churches and mosques, what is happening is we are going there and using God like an ATM machine. Right? If we had a lot of money, I probably wouldn't require God. Where I require God is where my money doesn't work. Correct? So God is becoming another currency for us. To do what? To get something in the world. Swami, I want a good job. Swami, I want a promotion. Swami, I want a better house. I want a better car. So I'm using God for the world. Swami is simply telling, now you flip it around. Use the world to get God. That's the only flip that we have to make in our lives. That is the flip of transformation. So he is telling us, I want transformation. I don't want devotion. And I feel, you see, once again, it kind of dovetails into the first story that we heard, which is the best relationship is not of a devotee and a god, but of guru and a disciple, because the disciple has decided that I am going to transform my life with the help of my guru. The purpose of guru in our life is for transformation. So now we have to decide, are we a devotee of Bhagawan or are we a disciple of Bhagawan? Devotees there will always be across, but can we become Swami's disciples? Right? In that sense, we all have an opportunity, or we all are Sai students. You see, that is why a student was somebody who was always dear to Swami. And of course, we know that Swami would often say that just because, this is how we had heard about it. This happened many years before us. There was a very, a VIP devotee of Bhagawan, very well placed, and their children, their son was studying in Swami's college, but he was never interested in studying in Swami's college. And so one day during the Trai session, Swami asks, his mother was sitting over there, in fact, that boy's mother, and Swami started asking about this boy. Kahan padta hai? Kahan padta hai? Swami, Brindavan mein padta hai. He was a Brindavan student. He said, where is he studying? Swami, Brindavan. Swami, he's your student. Swami asked the mother, where does he study? The mother said, Swami, he's your student. Okay, Swami said, my student? No, he's not my student. No, Swami, he's studying in Brindavan College. He's a college student. He's not my student. So you see, for Swami, there was always a distinction between the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning student and a Sri Sathya Sai student. All of us may not have the opportunity to become a Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning student, but we all have the opportunity to become a Sri Sathya Sai student. And for Swami, that student is more important than Institute of Higher Learning student. Right? So the point again now is, how do we become Swami students? Or what is necessary for being Swami student? And so here, once again, I will use Bhagawan's teachings itself to kind of continue this discussion, and let us go a little deeper into what Swami is trying to tell us. So we all know about the 4 F's. What are the 4 F's?
Follow the master.
Follow the master.
Face
the devil. Fight to the end.
Finish the game.
Finish the game. You all have heard this? Right? Have you ever wondered, have you ever contemplated on this? So in fact, it seems once Swami, during the 1970s, in fact for the first time, do you know how the story of the 4 F's? One of the elder brothers, very, very senior brothers, Swami asked him to speak during the summer course in 1970s. And Swami asked him, what topic are you going to speak on? He said, Swami, whatever you say. Okay, and it is said that Swami put a chit in his pocket, and when he opened, it was these 4 F's. Swami said, speak on, follow the master, face the devil, fight to the end, finish the game. So this is how that first time Swami, gave this 4 F's. So let us contemplate a little on what does each of these mean. Follow the master. If we have decided that he is our guru, he is our master, then I have to follow him. So just think about this, follow the master, it is written. It is not follow a master, it is follow the master, which means there is only one master. Okay, who is that master? And where does he reside? Right? We will all say, yes, Swami is my master. But then what do we mean by saying following the master? So one more instance comes to my mind. And strangely enough, you see, look at the second statement. It says, face the devil. If you are following the master, how will you face the devil? So this is a question that I had. When I first looked at these 4 statements, it said, follow the master, face the devil. I was thinking, how can we face the devil if we are following the master? Which means only when we are not following the master, we will face the devil. Anything other than following the master is facing the devil. Correct? That the moment I lose my focus on following the master, I am facing the devil. Does it make sense? So let us look at these two. So one instance comes to my mind. This was again narrated to us by one of our elder brothers. Typically what would happen is after our college or at any given time in our, for everything we will want Swami to guide us. So after 10th class, Swami, which stream to take? To take the science stream or the commerce stream, we will ask Swami. Okay, and then Swami, whatever you say. Typically, Swami, whatever you say. Okay, thing is, we don't believe it. We'll have something in our mind. We are hoping that what we have in our mind only Swami will tell. Okay, but we will say for the sake of, because everybody is saying that. So this brother also, he was finishing his MBA. Okay, and so one day Swami came and asked him, क्या करता है? What are you doing, Swami? MBA. इसके बाद क्या करेगा? After this, what will you do? Swami, whatever you say. So Swami said, very good. IFS karo. Do Indian Foreign Service. So Swami asked him to join the civil services. Indian Foreign Service is a fairly difficult, one of the most difficult assignments to have. And it's a very difficult exam to crack. Hardly 1% of the students crack that exam. So he said, okay, Swami. Okay, and he was saying, as he was leaving the Kulwant Hall, because in those days there was no Kulwant Hall, but as he was leaving, he said, oh my God, what has Swami told me to do? Okay, I'm not that bright enough to actually clear this exam. Oh my God, I'm going to slog, I'm going to struggle. Okay, and he was saying, oh Swami, what did you tell me to do? IFS. Okay, so 3-4 days passed. Swami comes back one day in the darshan line. Once again he asks, क्या करता है Swami? MBA. इसके बाद क्या करे? Swami, whatever you tell me to do. What will you do? Swami, whatever you tell me to do. Then Swami said, go and join your family business. Better than IFS. Right? So as he walked back, he was saying, feeling a little better. Okay. Next day, Swami comes and asks, what are you doing? Swami, MBA. What will you do after this? Swami, whatever you tell. Swami said, become a teacher. So now this boy is completely confused. Right? One day Swami is telling IFS, family business, teacher. And a few weeks later, so he was completely confused. Now he has no idea what exactly he is supposed to do. A few weeks later, his entire family had come and Swami called them for an interview. And so Swami asks his mother, what is your son doing now? He says, Swami, he is doing MBA. After this, what do you have in mind for him? Swami, whatever you say. Okay. And Swami said, it's better you get him married. So at that point of time, he kind of lost it. So he just said, Swami, last few moments you're telling me all different things. I'm completely confused. Okay. And so Swami says, so he kind of said to Swami, Swami, why are you confusing me? Okay. So he told Swami, why are you confused? Swami says, I am confusing you. Okay. And then Swami says, you be clear. Okay. You be clear, the rest shall follow. This is Swami's, a statement from Swami. Be clear, and the rest shall follow. Okay. He says that confusion, Swami told him, the confusion is there in your mind and I am just a reflection of your confusion. God is a mirror. He is simply going to reflect what is already there within us. Okay, this is one lesson for us. But then this brothers, he kind of went on. He said, Swami, if you are merely a reflection of what is already confusion, the confusion that is there in my mind, then why do I need you? You are supposed to give me clarity. Isn't it? We go to the Guru to gain clarity. Right? We are not coming to you to only highlight our confusion. I felt this was a wonderful, kind of liberty that he took with Swami to actually tell Swami that, Swami, how to get that clarity. You see, how to follow the master. See, the confusion in our mind is the devil. Right? And following the master means to be clear. And this is the point that I thought, I can just share my thoughts with you. Once I had the opportunity to ask Swami this question, Swami, how to control the mind? Right? And this happened in fact in 2010 during Swami's 85th birthday. And we were all what is called Sai Samidhi Day. So that is all the students working for Swami in Swami's institutions. We would have one day in September when Swami will come inside Bhajan Hall and we will all sit around Swami and Swami will talk to us. And so that day he took up this and he spoke about this in detail. And he started with giving this analogy. He said, do you know the house of mirrors? Have you ever seen a house of mirrors? Swami started. So it's typically the house where we go in and there are all mirrors around us. So you go in and you only see reflections of yourself. It's so confusing, you don't know how to go in. It's like a maze. And Swami says, when a dog enters, if a dog were to enter into that house of mirrors, what happens? He sees 100 other dogs. And the dog starts to believe that all of those dogs are against him. So what he does, it starts barking. The moment it barks, what does he see? All of the 100 dogs are barking back at it. Okay, and so it gets scared. And so now it doesn't know what to do. So it decides, okay, let me start by taking them one on one. One by one, I'll start taking them on. And so it goes and it jumps on one dog. What happens? That mirror shatters. These are all Swami's words. The mirror shatters. It becomes 100 pieces. And now there are 100 more dogs from that mirror. Okay, from the shattered glass, that one dog has now become 100 dogs. And now he is fighting against 100 dogs. Then Swami said, now a human being enters. Okay, and the moment the human being enters, what does he know? This is me only. And he uses all of those mirrors to actually put himself all right. Swami said, our mind is like the mirror and all of this reflection is like the world. Okay, the entire world is nothing but a reflection of our own minds. If we believe that somebody is against us, somebody is for us, it's all nothing but a projection of our own mind. So the point being, how do we know which is the voice of the mind and which is the voice of the master? You see, following the master, facing the devil. When we don't follow the master, we face the devil. But both, where is the devil and the master? They are all both within us. Now, usually what happens, the master's voice, the way we hear it in movies, the master's voice is always like a deep baritone voice, like some Amitabh Bachchan voice, or that the voice of the
Amish.
In the Mahabharata, मैं समय हूँ. It's a nice baritone voice, and we believe that God's voice must be like that. And you see, the devil's voice will be how? As shown, it will be like this cunning Shakuni, like that the voice will be, right? This is how it is depicted, or this is how it is portrayed in the movies. But unfortunately, in our lives, it is not like that. Both the voices are our own voices. The voice of the conscience, the voice of the master, and the voice of the mind are both our own voices. How do we distinguish between the two? Right? So, let me give some pointers on how
can you again start with that?
The master and the voice of our mind. The voice of the master, let us start with the voice of the mind. The voice of the mind will always be selfish. The voice of the master will always be selfless. That is, the voice of the mind will always say, is this good for me? Am I benefiting from it? Right? If it is good for me, then I will do it. If it is not good for me, I will not do it. Whereas the voice of the master will always be selfless. Like, the JOY, basically Jesus first, others next, myself last. This is one characteristic, Swami says. Second, the voice of the mind will always be short term. The voice of the conscience will always be long term. That is, the voice of the mind will tell me, right now this is the best way to do it, you do it. Whereas from inside one voice will come in, no, it's typically right when we want to start a sadhana, right? We decide next day onwards, I have to do this for the next 3 months, for the next 6 months, right? And next day morning, when we want to start our sadhana, a voice will come, today, it's Amavasya, don't start. We will give some, we'll give some excuses, okay, or the body will take it easy. The body will say, it's okay, see, you have had a very long night, there's a long day coming ahead. It will give excuses. Shut up. Today it's okay. Anyway, life is long, don't worry. Whereas there will be one voice which comes from inside, it's the wrong thing to do, you have to get up. You know that getting up is good, right? So that is the second thing. The third thing, the voice of the mind will always give us multiple choices. Okay, whereas the voice of the master will always be one only. Typically, I remember when we used to study, okay, the voice of the master will say, study. This is the time to study. The voice of the mind will say, okay, take a 10-minute nap, eat something, watch something, be distracted with some videos, right? Whereas the voice of the master will be telling us, no, you have to study. So you see, the voice of the mind will always give us lots of options, whereas the voice of the master will always be one. It will give us lots of excuses. It will give us lots of bypasses to bypass what we really want to do. But if you really think about it now, the voice of the master, it will not give us any excuses. It won't give us any reasons. It will say, this is the right thing. Now you decide what you want to do. And here, really comes like just on this, I'd like to just deviate or detour a little bit into what happened way back 7,000 years ago in the Mahabharata. Duryodhana, many times this should come to our mind. Why did Krishna give the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna? Wasn't Duryodhana the more appropriate candidate to receive Bhagavad Gita? Why teach it to a good man? Arjuna was anyway a good fellow. If he really wanted to give the Bhagavad Gita and transform somebody, he should have given it to Duryodhana. Duryodhana was the more appropriate candidate to receive Bhagavad Gita, isn't it? I don't know whether this thought has crossed your mind. It had crossed my mind. Right? That Duryodhana really should have received the Bhagavad Gita. Do you know that Krishna tried? Krishna did in fact try to put some sense into Duryodhana. What did he say? When he went as the peace ambassador, before the war started, when Krishna had gone as the peace ambassador to Hastinapur, it is said that in one evening in the garden, Krishna meets Duryodhana and he says, Duryodhana, don't you know what you are doing is wrong? And what is Duryodhana's answer is probably one of the most beautiful answers, one of the most insightful answers. It does talk about the fundamental psychology of a human being. What is Duryodhana's answer? He says, Janami dharmam nachame pravrutti, janami adharmam nachame nivrutti, kenapi devena hridistitena, yatha niyojitosmi tatha karomi. He says, boss, don't lecture me on dharma. Duryodhana is telling Krishna, Janami dharmam, I know what is dharma. Nachame pravrutti, I have no inclination towards it. I don't feel like doing it. Janami adharmam, I know what is adharma. Nachame nivrutti, I don't feel like leaving it. Okay, kenapi devena hridistitena. He's telling some light. Deva actually means light. There is some light inside of me. Hridistitena. He's telling. Yatha niyojitosmi. However that tells, I follow like that. So you don't tell me what is dharma, adharma. I know what is dharma. I also went to same university where Pandavas went. Same Krupacharya, same Dronacharya, same Bhishma. Everybody taught me also. So syllabus was the same. But there is something inside of me. Do you feel some kind of resonance with Duryodhana? There is a little bit of Duryodhana in each one of us. Right? We also know, Janami dharma, I know what is right. Nachame pravritti, I don't feel like doing it. Janami adharmam, I know what is wrong. Nachame nivritti, I don't feel like living it. Right? You see, the only difference between Duryodhana and Arjuna was this. That Duryodhana, he simply resigned off. He said, don't talk to me, don't tell me I am like this only. I don't want to change. The same question is asked in Bhagavad Gita by Arjuna to Krishna. Okay, but the difference is this fellow resigned off, Arjuna asks a question. He says, Atha kena prayuktoyam papam chariti purushaha. That is, impelled by what, O Lord, does man commit sin? Arjuna is also asking the same thing. I know, I am understanding what you are saying, but yet, what impelled by what do I commit this sin? I know what is correct, and yet I do something wrong. You see, same question it is, but Arjuna asks a question, Duryodhana just resigns from it. That is why the Bhagavad Gita was given to Arjuna. And that is why Swami is also trying to knock some sense into our heads. Right? Of course, that is a different topic of what Krishna answers. He says, Kama, it is the desire. Desire for external world. Because we are desiring the external world, that is why we are getting into, that is why we commit sin. We don't desire the internal world. So let us leave that. We will not talk about that. But now let's come to the third F, which is fight to the end. Once we have realized that we have to follow the master, okay, and whenever we do not follow the master, we are facing the devil, okay, then Swami is now telling us, fight to the end. Fighting for what? And why do, if I am following the master, okay, then why should I fight to the end? Fighting to the end stands for having consistency in our sadhana. You see, the mind is so fickle. The mind is, just like Arjuna says, it is Pramadi Bala Dridam. He says, it's like the wind. It cannot be, it is more difficult than the wind. It cannot be captured. Therefore, what is required is consistency. We have to fight right to the end. And probably one of the most beautiful characters or one of the most beautiful role models in sadhana for me is Mother Shabari from Ramayana. Look at the life of Mother Shabari. If you know the life of Mother Shabari, when she was a little girl, it seems, when she was getting married, she ran away from the Saptapadi. And she goes and joins Gautama Muni's ashram, and she dedicates her entire life there. And after many, many years of her dedicated thing, one day Gautama Muni says, now I am leaving because my job over here is done. I am going for my higher planes, but you have to stay here. She says, no, Guru, I want you. I am only there to serve you. He says, no, you have to be here because one day the Lord will come over here as a part of his mission, and you have to be there to receive it. Now, the first thought that came to my mind is, if Gautama Rishi knew that the Lord is going to come there, why didn't he hang around till then?
True.
Right? If the Lord is going to come there, so you see, that is how these masters are. My job is over, my work is completed, that's it, I am going. But you have to remain here. Now, just holding on to that word of the Guru, Mother Shabari's sadhana starts. What does she say? He has not given me which date he is going to come. He could come tomorrow, he could come 30 years later. What does she start? Every single day, every path that came to her hut, she would put flowers, she would clean up every stone, right? She would identify the food for the Lord, okay, and she'll be ready. Today he doesn't come, again tomorrow start the same. Again day after tomorrow start the same thing. Okay, and in that process what happened? Everybody around her came and said, oh foolish lady, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? Why will the Prince of Ayodhya somewhere, in the north, why will he come all the way down south? Right, so there will be all sorts of impediments. Everybody will come and say, you are stupid for what you are doing. She said, I know. I am going to do this. Right? Oftentimes, sometimes, this thought comes to my mind. Imagine if I was in Shabari's, in her shoes. And some 4 or 5 days before Rama was going to come, finally in utter exasperation, I give up that. Hey, bahut kar liya hai. 10 years I have done this. He has not come. Today I am feeling little lethargic, I won't do. Okay, and 2 days later he comes. Just imagine, what face will I have to go and tell him, why you came today?
I was ready till yesterday.
Till for 15 years. Till day before yesterday I was doing it. You see, will I have any face to tell him? That is mothership. One of the best examples to me on sadhana and consistency. Every single day she would be ready. So we think therefore that, oh, okay, so now that Rama has come, they lived happily ever after. No. She finished her job and out, she left. Right? It is not that now that the Lord has come, now the Lord will stay with me for 15 years. See, when the realization happens, when the self, now just like Ramakrishna would tell, that even if there is 1 million years of darkness, it requires but 1 second of light to dispel that darkness. It is not that for 2 million years of darkness I need 2 seconds of light, and for 3 million years of darkness I need 3 seconds. How many ever million years of darkness it requires but 1 second of light. Similarly, how much ever effort we put in, it requires but Uddharet Atmanatman. It requires just that 1 second of Antara Jyoti Jalao Sai. Right? So when we are saying it requires but that 1 second. So Rama comes, she's completely ready. She finishes the job, that's it. It's all over, her entire life's fulfillment. And it is said, the beauty of this in some of the Ramayanas, it is written, after that, when as she walked, on her future path, okay, it seems her entire path was filled with the same flowers that she had kept for Rama. Okay, all the gods and the goddesses and the angels had strewn her entire path with flowers as she walked. Right? Such is the intensity. To me, ever since Swami left, in 2011, every day when I go to Kulvanthar, I always keep Mother Shabri as my role model. Yaar, tu chakma deke tu nikal gaya. You gave us heart. You left us. So now hang on like Shabri till you come back, and you will have to come back. And you will come. Right? So hang on every day. Because our benchmark, we have to benchmark ourselves with some people, right? So I keep benchmarking myself with Mother Shabri. If she could wait for 30 years, we also can wait for 30 years. Right? And he will come. So we have to fight to the end. We cannot stop short. Fight to the end. Fight against whom? Against that devil. Which is the devil? Our own mind. Okay. And after having done that, once you fight to the end, to finish the game that's all finished. No, there is no after that there won't be some award ceremony and all that.
Credits.
Yes, it is just the end. Happily ever after. So for this, I will just say one instance and I will wrap up.
Close to 9.
I was just sharing this yesterday also, so at the cost of repetition, I will repeat. I had written a letter to Swami. I'll cut the whole story short and just come to that part. When we say finish the end, what does it mean to me? Finish the game. I would typically not write a letter to Swami, because Swami would always come up to students and say, see, so many letters, because he'll finish his darshan and then after that he would come up to students and say, see, I don't have place for your letters. And typically he would say, I have given you everything, then also you have something to write to me. So I used to always feel that, no Swami, I won't burden you with everything you have already given. What is there for us to write? So, but I would write one letter on my birthday, because I felt on that day, legitimately I can give you, and you cannot say no to me. It's my birthday, right? Can't disappoint me on that one. So anyway, so it was 1 year, and Swami did not take that letter. Every year I would write only on that day, and if that day Swami does not take the letter, come back, tear it and throw it out. Next year write. So that year he did not take the letter. So I had come back to the hostel and I was about to, when we heard that one of our sirs was talking to us, telling about Swami, so I went to his room. And that day he happened to, the topic of that satsang was whether we should write letters to Swami or not. And so it seems when he was a student, they had a debate, a debate in the sense an informal one, where one set of boys said, the student said that we should write a letter, the others were said, no, we don't have to because he knows everything. And so the debate was inconclusive. They slept that day. Next day morning, when Swami had come for darshan, Swami called this brother, and he was made to stand inside the interview room, and he noticed that Swami was picking up letters from one end, and he was dropping it to the other end. And different letters got different treatment. Some were fully opened, some were just looked at, and some were even without looking, he was dropping it down. And so he wondered why such differential treatment for different letters. Okay, and see, such thoughts come into our monkey minds. He said, see, all these devotees, with what love they have written to Swami. But Swami, some letters are not even getting good treatment. So immediately Swami read his mind and Swami said, come, pick one letter from here. Okay, and so he opened the letter and Swami kind of, told whatever was there in that letter. And so it was a moment of omniscience, that Swami knows. So at that time he submitted to Swami. He said, Swami, when you know everything, why should we write? Is it even necessary to write a letter? And Swami said, you are not writing a letter to inform me. You are writing a letter to inform yourself. Because in the process of writing a letter, our thought, our words, and our deeds are becoming one. So Trikarana Shuddhi is happening right now. So that is a sadhana. And when we write to God, we write only our most purest thoughts, and every thought is like an offering to Him. And so there is purity and unity in thought, word, and deed. So, it struck a chord in my heart that, okay, now I'm not going to give up this letter. And so every day I would sit with the letter, hoping one day Swami will take it. And for 4 months, he did not take that letter. In fact, that letter got so soiled that I wrote another letter, and every day I would sit with the letter. And so about 4 months later, one day in Bhajan Hall, just before Bhajans, I felt the way he looked at me and called me was, how long is this? So he said, no, come. No, like that he said, come, like that. So I went up to Swami and Swami opened that letter. Okay, I thought he will just accept the letter and I will go back and sit. But that day he opened the letter and started reading that letter back to me. And I typically, I did not have anything personal to write. I would just have some prayers. The prayers that I usually have are, Swami, become the thinker of my thoughts. You are the doer of my deeds. You are the speaker of my words. Guide me, guard me, protect me. I am in you. You are in me. I am you. You are me. No, these were these are standard. Even to this day, I do these prayers. So Swami started reading that loudly with a little nervous feeling, And then Swami comes to this line. He says, I am you and you are me. And he shows me that line. And he underlines that line with his finger. And then he just pats me on my chest and says, Idi Bhadrangha Pinchuko. Develop this feeling more and more in your heart. That I am you and you are me. And then he wrapped up that letter and put it in my pocket. He gave it back to me. I still have that letter with me. And meditate on this. That is, just contemplate on this. I am you and you are me. That is the destiny of each and every one of us. When the avatar comes into our lives, when he comes only for one reason, to tell us that I am you and you are me. There is no difference. Right? That is where we will finish the game. There will never be a game after that. Right? These are some of the thoughts that I wanted to share today. Let us all pray that we are able to follow the Master, face the devil, finish the fight to the end, and finish the game.
I know. What more can we say? The message is very loud and clear. Swami has his ways of reinforcing topics that stay connected with us
And each one of us fight our own internal battles, but at the end of the day, we have the master in sight. Devil never crops up and one has to go till the end. Sairam, brother Amey. Anything that it can be unplugged. You just send in here. That's also fine. Or we can follow. Okay. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Prema Swarupini. Prema Swarupini. Once you ask them, request them. Next, that is your request.
प्रेम स्वरूपिणी जननी मां
प्रेम स्वरूपिणी जननी मां
स्वरूपिणी जननी मां
प्रेम स्वरूपिणी जननी मां
चरण नमोस्तुते साई मां
चरण नमोस्तुते साई मां
चरण नमोस्तुते साई मां
चरण नमोस्तुते साई प्रेम स्वरूपिणी जननी मां
जगदम्बे कृपा करी साई 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 मां
करुणामयी जननी साई मां
करुणामयी जननी साई मां
करुणामयी जननी साई मां
करुणामयी जननी साई मां
त्रिभुवन पालिनी साई मां
त्रिभुवन पालिनी साई मां
त्रिभुवन पालिनी साई मां
त्रिभुवन पालिनी साई मां
चरण नमोस्तुते साई मां
शरण नमोस्तुते साई मां
चरण नमोस्तुते साई मां
चरण नमोस्तुते साई मां
प्रेम स्वरूपिणी जननी मां
हे प्रेम स्वरूपिणी जननी मां
जगदम्बे कृपा
जगदम्बे कृपा करी साई
करुणामयी जननी साई माँ
करुणामयी जननी साई
त्रिभुवन पालिनी साई माँ
त्रिभुवन पालिनी साई
चरण नमोस्तुते साई माँ
चरण नमोस्तुते साई
चरण नमोस्तुते साई माँ
चरण नमोस्तुते साई